TV9 News. I'm your host Ashish Parekh. The IT rules drama, which involves WhatsApp, Twitter, and every other single social media platform in the country, has been rolling out over the past 1 week. And while every single social media platform has agreed to, in fact, comply with the new IT rules, which require them to address the issues that the government comes up with, and also the issues of people, and also cooperate with government agencies during investigations. Every single platform has cooperated with that, in fact, has complied with that. But now Twitter is the only one that seems to be having a major issue with this, and in fact is continuing its fight against the government. Now, barring Twitter, as per government sources, every other single social media platform has in fact given out details as required by the law about the chief compliance officer, the nodal contact person, and the grievance redressal officer. These three contacts are supposed to be given to the government so that a proper framework is formed as far as regulating, not exactly regulating, but monitoring the activities on social media is done, so that there are no repercussions, harmful repercussions out there in the real world. That is what the government aims to do. But of course, social media platforms have their own problems with it, and Twitter, in fact, as per government sources, has given out information about the chief compliance officer, the nodal officer in fact, and the grievance redressal officer, but the number and the details are of a lawyer who's working in a law firm in India. And according to the rules, the person who is appointed as the nodal contact person and the grievance redressal officer is supposed to be someone who is working with that particular social media company. So Twitter clearly, despite knowing the rules and regulations, is somehow playing around with the Indian government at this point in time, for whatever reasons it might have. It of course raised its issues about how the new IT rules might in fact invade into the freedom of pose potential threat to the freedom of expression of Indians. WhatsApp too had an issue, but seems like WhatsApp is somehow finding a way to make sure that they actually comply with the law of the land, but Twitter is still having an issue with this. Now we're talking about social media platforms like Koo, ShareChat, Telegram, LinkedIn, Google, Facebook, and WhatsApp, who have shared details of the chief compliance officer, the nodal contact person, and the grievance redressal officer. Now, according to the rules, all these people, like I said, have to be belonging to the same company, social media company, and Twitter has in fact given out details of a person who's not in from that company. Now, we're talking about the feud between the ruling government, the BJP government, and the Twitter, which actually started heating up from the end of May itself, even before the 3-month period ended. In fact, you had the toolkit controversy, wherein it actually flagged off tweets by BJP leaders, which was even shared by several ministers, and this in fact somehow created a bit of friction between the ruling party and Twitter. And in fact, there were raids also that were conducted on Twitter India's office. However, the government in fact later on, in fact the Delhi police themselves clarified that the raids were not anywhere related to what was being done with the BJP leaders and their tweets, and also it wasn't related to the social media or the IT rules which have been brought in. So, but Twitter of course does not really believe that. It thinks that these are all intimidation tactics by the government to make sure that they end up complying with the rules, which will pretty much hand over the reins of the social media platform to them. Now we're talking about Twitter's history as well. Everyone's talking about what exactly would happen now. There were a lot of rumors that Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, every platform that does not really comply with the rules will be banned. But that is not something that the government has ever said. The government has only ever said that the special powers or the special protection that is given to these social media platforms under subsection 1 of section 79 of the IT rules, which means that in case there is anything posted on the platforms, the social media platforms are not responsible for that. There will not be any charges which will be filed against them as their intermediaries. This particular protection will be stripped off in case they don't comply, and Twitter in fact has gone ahead and it doesn't seem like it is complying with it. So this is something that could possibly happen. Nobody knows if there could be a ban. There could be one, there could not be one. All these are speculation at this point in time. But having said that, Twitter has actually had a history with not complying with the laws of the land across the world. There are several instances where it has happened. There are several instances where it has not exactly followed the privacy law that has been put forward. For example, we had a case wherein in January 2019 there was a data breach which was reported, and Twitter in fact failed to properly notify the regulator about this, and it ended up coughing around $546,000 of fine because it could not really do that. Now also on March 10, 2021, Russia's Federal Service also began throttling Twitter on all mobile devices because Twitter clearly was not removing posts that were actually considered to be pornographic in nature, and also suicidal posts and videos which were being posted on its platform. So that was another issue that was raised, and there have been several countries that have had issues with Twitter. Twitter has had issues with several countries, and this has been something that has been happening and now is being seen in India as well. So what exactly will happen in the future? We'll have to wait and see. Do let us know what you guys think about this particular development in the comment section below, and also don't forget to like, share and subscribe to TV9 News. Thanks a lot for watching.